This is the Canadian Qualifier round of 8. You must win today to advance to that $1 million tournament. And Skill, he put on a show in the first round, but his team lost by 1 point. So it's any one game going into these final 5 minutes, but I think Skill is definitely going to be our player to look out for.
Oh, without a doubt. He went ham all over that first side of Domination Strike Zone. And now the second side has begun, and it's all about the start for me. You know, how these teams going to try and control the map, who's going to be the team that really pushes and gets that initial control, because whoever does, I really think can eliminate, obviously, just that 1 point differential from the first 5 minutes of gameplay. That's going to go in the blink of an eye.
So we are looking at Vexx Revenge, and currently they're off to a much slower start than they had last time. We're seeing Skill and friends up, though, 8 points to just 1 with B and C control. Their opponents coming off of A. Skill won't be able to stop the push. It's all up to Mech here.
Yeah, Mech needs to just try and pick up a couple of kills there, but it looked like he was trying to rotate into B. Obviously, the flag was being taken away from them, and they are going to need to try and defend that. Nice play from Slumber, just giving that added support. And what you have to remember, Puck, it was at the start of the first side of Domination Strike Zone, a similar thing happened. In the way that in terms of the score at the very start of the game, Vexx Revenge, they had the initial lead and then they kind of allowed it to slip away.
Oh yeah,
DxD Gaming, a fantastic, last couple of minutes comeback where they managed to win that round just by 1 second. So, to be honest, this initial lead, although it is big, could easily be wiped away.
And I was being very critical of Slumber at the start of last game. He was off to a very slow start at 1-5 or 1-6 at one point, but now he is 8-5, opened up this round 4-1. And he is the leading Slayer in the game. On the other side, though, we have Nightmare starting to heat up for DxD. He is currently 6-4 with 2 captures to his name.
Yeah, and those kills as well that he's been picking up have been important kills. Kills around flags when enemy teams have been trying to cap them, when he's been capping flags himself. So they're not just random kills in transition. I've been keeping my eye on him and just making sure what he's been up to. I had him highlighted on the minimap. And you have to give him some props in the way that he's tried to turn this game around a little bit. And it's kind of a familiar thing to what happened in that first side. They gave away a couple of early points that maybe they shouldn't have done, but in the latter part of the game, they really managed to get the map control, and they mounted a comeback.
So the score, 28 points, to 35. Just a 7-point game here in the second round. 2 minutes, 36 seconds left on the clock. You're watching Nightmare run around with this Bison, and I think this is the perfect weapon for this map. Yeah,
it's interesting you say that, because it's become one of those I don't want to say controversial, but it's become more and more on people's minds, on the top players' minds. What weapons should we be using? And some people, they have been changing their mind. It is a very, very good gun. Killer is one of the players that comes to my mind. He's definitely known for running around and tearing things up with that weapon. But personal preference is obviously a huge thing. But you kind of have to go with what is strong. If you're not using what is the best gun of the game for the time, you're not going to be able to win matches as easy.
No one watching the top balcony as Saga Demon pumps out and gets 1. 2 more players over at C, though, and they are losing A control. So Vexx, they're up 52-39, but DxD is keeping it close. Still just a 14-point game.
Yeah, as we approach the last 2 minutes as well, this is where both teams need to just try and lock down what they can. And I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting a little bit more from Skill. He had a huge first game. I was wondering if the momentum would carry through, and he's gonna need to go big on this B flag as he shuts down 1. Not gonna be able to find the second though. Still 11-8, a very, very good score to be fair to him.
Absolutely, 11-8 also for Slumber, but Slumber goes down as Demon falls in the courtyard. So it's up to Skill to do some damage in the middle of the map. All they have is A. Their opponents with C and B. And remember, this is the same situation they found themselves at the end of the first round. They were up big, lost 2 flag controls at B and C, and were unable to get them back.
Yeah, they need to be careful as well, because that B flag is looking like Vexx may try, Vexx Revenge may try and jump on there and take that away from them in the last 50 seconds, though. If they're going to make a play, they need to do it now. It was only a 1-point differential at the end of the first side, so they still could do it. They're going to need to try and get as many flags as they possibly can, though. There's only a 5-second difference in this second side, though, Puckett.
I'm watching Saga Demon here at the end for Vexx. Can Revenge get this? We have Skill tossing the grenades up top. He's the lone player at C. His teammates running interference in the middle of the map, trying to stop the push from B. He gets off a C, incoming grenades, unable to capture it. 70-68, 20 seconds left to go. And remember, there is a 1-point advantage in favor of DxD Gaming here.
Yeah, that was it. Just one. 72 to
Tie
71.
game.
It's going to be a tied game as we go into the last 10 seconds. Okay, this is going to be a crazy ending now. It's just about who can contest.
DxD with a 1-point advantage. They have 2 flags. Vexx will not be able to get in there. Revenge is going to fall in game number 1 as it is Nightmare, Super Burt, Rhino, and Buck going big on domination. They win with a total of 3 points after 10 minutes of domination.
That was a fantastic first game to kick things off. But for me, the big reasoning behind that is if you look at that capturing column, Puckett, you know, you got 4 caps, 3 caps, 3 caps, 2 caps, DxD, and then just 4, 1, 1, and 1. Realistically, if you're going to try and win a game of domination, you need all the players jumping on flags. You know, obviously when it's the right time, you don't just bombard them, but you need more than one player capturing multiple flags.
So what's the difference there? Is that a sign of teamwork, communication? How do you have so many caps on one team and so few for the other?
I mean, I would say it just comes down to map control. In essence, you know, when a team has more map control, they can really push towards those extra flags. I wouldn't say necessarily it was just one person capping the flag. Obviously, at times you'll have, you know, Saga, Demon, and Slumber on a flag at one time. Slumber's going to get taken down. Saga picks it up. He's the one that gets the cap. Obviously, you have to account for that sort of stuff. But that differential is massive. But you have to think, even with that amount of difference in terms of the flags being capped, how close that game actually was. Like that's you have to give Vexx a lot of props for that.
Well, up to this point, I believe we have the top 8 seeds moving on to this round of 8 so far.
Wow.
Remember, DxD is the 5th seed, Vexx is the 4th seed, but it's our 5th seed who is up after 1 game in the best of 5. We're going to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll see, can Vexx Revenge tie it up at 1 apiece after Search and Destroy, or will we have a 2-0 advantage for DxD? Stay tuned.